Hello from Southern Ontario, Canada. It's February 1st. So in watching the farmers' protests all across Europe today, I see a change. What I see is hanging from the buckets of tractors and from bridges and overpasses and stuff, I see effigies hanging. Now let's look at the dictionary definition of that word before I get into what I think this means. Effigies, a roughly made model of a particular person, especially of a hated person, made in order to be damaged or destroyed as a protest or expression of anger. Now let's step back just a second. In the protests in Ottawa here in Canada, the Freedom Convoy truckers protests, we saw a lot of flags. It was the number one selling flag on Amazon, rhymed with "Truck You, Trudeau." There was a statement in that flag, but it was not an effigy. So, bouncing back to what I see in Europe now. Now, I don't know who the particular effigies are in each country, but that they are hanging effigies is a psychological step forward in protesting. History has shown us this. Should be said in France, I see today the farmers are standing off. Macron announced he was bringing out 15,000 troops, and so now we have tractors facing heavy military equipment. I'll just use the term heavy. And in response, we see effigies hanging. Now, I would think if I was a politician and I looked out the window of my palace and saw an effigy of myself or one of my peers, that would give me pause for consideration. However, that's a human response to such an affair, and we are talking largely about sociopaths here. So, I digress slightly. Point is, it's a big step forward in, I guess I'll say, public opinion as regards their protests. Again, history shows us when effigies begin to be hung, or destroyed, I guess I should say, use that word, is it far after that they begin to hang actual tree ornaments. And history has shown us once again that it is not until the populace begins to hang tree ornaments that serious change, actual change, is effected. We saw what happened in Ottawa. The protest was not a small fringe minority. The government responded by bringing in foreign troops, tear gas, beatings, freezing of bank accounts, seizures of monies. But we didn't see any effigies hanging there, as we do in Europe with the farmers' protests. Takeaway, the bottom line, when it moves to tree ornaments, then and only then is change truly effected.